So if you're going on a cruise to Costa Maya, Mexico, you've got to do the Bacalar Lagoon Excursion. So we got to explore the Lagoon of Seven Colors, the Pirates Canal, and even some cenotes. So Costa Maya is located on the southeastern side of Mexico on the border with Belize. It's in the state of Quintana Roo. So as our cruise ship docked at the port of Costa Maya, we got off the boat and then we walked this really long pier to get to the actual port. So as you get to the entrance of the Costa Maya port, to the left you can see the actual port and it looks like an old Mayan village. And then as we walked in, right in the middle, you have a bunch of signs. So on the right hand side, you'll see the green sign that says pre-booked tours. This is only for tours that you book through the cruise ship. So we actually went there first, found that out, and then realized that because we were being hosted by Shore Excursions Group, which is a third party, we would need to actually leave the port area and they would be waiting for us right outside of the port. So here's a map of the port and we needed to go from the entrance from the pier to the port exit. So as you come into the port entrance, you go through some shopping, you'll walk around, you'll see some flamingos, some swimming pools, and then you're going to see some signs that says port exit. That's where you want to go for a third-party excursion that's not hosted by the cruise ship. So we followed the signs until we got to this big parking lot with a roundabout. Across the parking lot, you'll see a guard gate. That's where you need to walk towards. And once you get to that guard gate, you'll cross the crosswalk. And in the middle, between the two lanes of traffic, there's a sidewalk that you'll take down to the next guard gate. And then that's where all the third-party excursion companies are waiting. And that's where Shore Excursions Group was waiting for us with our name on a sign. So after we met up with our excursion guide, we walked over to their parking area where they've got a fleet of vans. We met up with our group, we got in the van, and we headed out. They informed us that we were going to be stopping at a little village. It's about a 50-minute drive to Pedro Antonio Santos, and that we had a choice of either getting freshly cut pineapple or freshly baked empanadas. So as a group, we decided that we wanted to get the freshly baked empanadas for breakfast, and they were absolutely delicious. So we didn't want to miss out on the freshly cut pineapple, so they allowed us to stop at a stand, but for that we had to pay for it, but it was only $2 US, and this pineapple was delicious as well. So from Pedro Antonio Santos, we headed to Bacalar, which is about a 25-minute drive, and we had full stomachs, we were happy, and we were ready for the excursion. So our driver turned into Papitos, which is a local marina in Bacalar. That's where our pontoon boat was located. And this is a great location because they've got bathrooms, they've got a store, they've got a restaurant. So we were all able to use the bathroom, and then we headed over to the dock area to get onto our assigned pontoon boat. One of the cool things about this excursion is that they bring a whole thing of snacks and drinks, so there's plenty for you while you're out there exploring. So once we were loaded up and on our pontoon boat, we headed to the right or south to our first cenote. And you can see why they call this the lake or the Lagoon of Seven Colors, from turquoise to blues to greens. And then as you pull up to Cenote Negro, Negro means black in Spanish, and you can see why they call this cenote that. It drops off 250 feet deep. Our guide took us all around, and you can see that there's houses that back right up to this cenote. And after exploring there, then we headed a little farther south over to Cenote Esmeralda. So this one is about 229 feet deep, and along the way you see all these amazing rentals and places that people can stay, and the water's super shallow there. It's about waist deep. One of the interesting things about this lake or lagoon is that all this water's fresh. It's all coming from the cenotes from underground. So after exploring Cenote Esmeralda, we headed over to this shallow area. We were able to get out of the pontoon boat and swim and explore. If you look out over in the distance from this drone footage, you can see there's another cenote, Cenote Cocolitos. We didn't actually go over there for this excursion, but you can see there's just cenotes all along this lagoon, which is so cool. So after hanging out at Cenote Esmeralda, we decided to get in the boat and go up to the Pirates Channel. Along the way, we passed the island on the right called Bird Island, and these views along the way were absolutely breathtaking. So as we pulled up to the Pirates Channel, you can see this is a really popular place. Pontoon boats are able to pull right in. The water's about waist deep. There's an old building or structure there that was going to be a restaurant, but now it's abandoned. You can jump off of it into the water. You see Julie walking out, it's about waist deep. So first we explored in the pontoon boat, then we anchored and we got out and we were able to swim around and explore on our own. So we hung out and swam for about 40 minutes at the Pirates Channel. And then when we were done, we all got back into the pontoon boat and then we headed straight across the channel back to Papitos. So the pontoon boat anchored, we all got off the boat. The van was waiting for us in the parking lot, so we headed up to the van. We had all worked up an appetite, and so now was time to go out to eat at El Taco Loco. El Taco Loco is an authentic Mexican restaurant that's got amazing fish tacos and all sorts of Mexican food. The great part was that this entire meal was included in the excursion too. So after eating this delicious meal, we all hopped back in the van and we made the trip back to the port of Costa Maya. So overall, this excursion was amazing. We want to thank Shore Excursions Group for hosting us. So if you're heading to the port of Costa Maya on your next cruise, we'd highly recommend booking this excursion.